In this video, I'm going to share with you guys whether or not Amazon FBA is dead or it's still viable in 2022, 2023, and beyond. Now, those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Bashar Katu, and I'm the founder of BJK University, an education company with a mission to impact 1 million lives. You see, personally, I've been selling on Amazon for the last 7 years. And every single month, every single year, especially after we started coaching in 2019, I get the question, Bashar, should I start selling on Amazon? Bashar, is Amazon still viable? What I want to do today is I don't want to just tell you yes or no, but I'm going to share with you some stats. I'm going to show you some things that I pulled from Google. So it's not things that, I'm pulling out of my back pocket, or it's not things that I've heard, in a conversation somewhere. It's things that, are known to Google and that you can also go research yourself. And you can make the decision whether or not, Amazon FBA is still viable. So before I do that, however, something that I realized personally for me, when I first came to the US in 2006, I remember it was around Thanksgiving, and my uncle and I were he was dropping us off home after we had spent Thanksgiving, at their house. And I remember seeing a whole bunch of people, in the middle of the winter. It was probably like 20 inches of snow outside, and people are just sitting outside. And I'm like, what is wrong with these crazy people? Are they okay? Who would ever want to sit outside in the snow? And they didn't look like they were homeless. So I kind of was confused. And when I asked them, he told me, yeah, it's Black Friday's coming up, and everyone simply sits outside and waits for the deals. But what's happened is over the years, I've watched these lines simply shrink and shrink and shrink. Macy's or Sears going out of business, JCPenney going out of business, Toys R Us going out of business, all these big corporations going out of business. Yet you see Amazon's revenue increasing. Now, that means that there are more sellers or more buyers on Amazon, but does that mean that there are more sellers, or does that mean that the sellers are making more money or any decent money? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you guys these stats here. You guys can decide for yourselves. So the very first stat that I realized that I just wanted to kind of see, how many active sellers are there on Amazon? Because I know for me, that was huge. I want to know, how much potential competition do I have, right? And currently there are over 9.7 million sellers on Amazon worldwide, right? But only 1.9 million are actually actively selling, right? And what this says is that in 2020, third-party sellers were responsible for 80 billion in sales. So 1.9 million sellers generated $80 billion. Now, I don't know what the math on that is, but if you do the math, I'm pretty sure that's a huge chunk. Now, yes, does that mean, it's equal? Does that mean everyone is making the same amount? No, absolutely not. And this is why I pulled up the next slide. And what this says, I asked the question, I said, how much does the average seller make on Amazon? And it says that the average seller makes at least $1,000 per month in sales. However, super sellers make more than $100,000 each month, and 50% of Amazon sellers, so 50%, make between $1,000 to $25,000 per month, which means it's about $12,000 to $300,000 per year in annual sales. Now you're like, all right, well, that's 1,000 all the way to 25,000. Well, that's a big range. But sure, think about it. If you were to start selling on Amazon today, would you be among the people that are making 1,000, or the people that are making 25,000? And let's just say you are among the people that are making $1,000 to say $5,000. Would an extra $1,000 to $5,000 a month impact your life at all? I don't know. Think about that. Now, think about also, why is it that some people make $1,000 a month, and why is it that some people make $25,000 a month? For me personally, when I see people succeeding in the restaurant industry, I simply start thinking about, why is it that these people are succeeding? And 7 years ago, I had a restaurant and I completely failed. Well, it's very easy for me today to answer. It wasn't very easy then, but today it's simple, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was a 23-year-old kid with a big ego. I thought I knew it all. I knew nothing. I had no experience in running restaurants. I just watched some reality TV thinking that I'm an expert in running restaurants. And then I went for it, right? So for me, it was the knowledge. So if I were to just kind of give a simple guess to why some people make 1,000 and why some people make 25,000, I would say the people that make 25,000 probably have more knowledge and maybe even more finances. And that's another thing that you need to know, is that you need money to make money. You personally don't need to have the money to make the money. That's a conversation for a different day. But personally, in my experience, you need at least $5,000 to $10,000 for you to actually make this business work. And maybe that's another factor why some people make 1,000, some people make 25,000. Now I got more curious and I said, what's another thing that I want to look at? And I started looking at Amazon's revenue, the actual company. Is it growing? Is it not growing? What's going on to the graph? But before I get into there, do me a favor, if this is your first time to the channel, subscribe to the channel, smash that thumbs up button, and also share this video with someone else that you believe might find this information valuable. So I looked at the last, 15, 16 years, and Amazon in 2004 generated $6.9 billion in revenue, which is a lot, but in 2021 generated $469 billion. Last year, they generated 386. The year before, 280, 232, 177. So it's been simply growing. And some people might say, yeah, well, 2020, everyone was home and they were everyone was shopping online. And that's why they generated a whole bunch more money than 2019 and the years before. Yeah, but if you look at between 2020 to 2021, it went from 386 to 469. In 2022, I am 100% sure that it's going to be another 20, 30% higher. Why? Again, because it's more convenient. Especially now with gas prices, here in Florida, it's cheaper, but it's still $5 a gallon, right? Getting in your car, driving a car that's going to cost you $5 a gallon, going to the store, waiting in line, hassle, traffic, all this stuff. Why would you want to do that? Where you two clicks of a button, if you order early enough, you might get that product the same day, right? Another thing that I was thinking about is, how many people shop on Amazon, right? And that was very, I'm like, what's the potential demand, right? Because that's the other thing. It's like, if you want to start a business, you want to make sure they start a business in a growing industry. So, okay, it's growing. But then the second thing is, how much total demand is there? What's the total adjustable market, the TAM, right? And so what I realized, what Google says, by the way, again, guys, this is not information that I'm pulling out of my pocket. This is information readily available for you on Google. Now you might say, well, what's the, how accurate is Google? I don't know. Google is accurate as Google is, right? So you can do this research yourself as well. Since its creation 25 years ago, Amazon has grown to become the top e-commerce platform in the country. And each month, over 197 people around the world go on their devices and go to Amazon.com. 197 million. I'm like, all right. Well, I mean, if each person, spends $1, that's 197 million over 1.9 million sellers. That's not a whole lot of money. But then I'm like, all right, well, I want to know, how much do people on average spend? So those 197 million, how much do they spend? Now, not all of them are Prime members. But the Prime members of them, on average, spend $1,400 every single year shopping on Amazon. And the non-Prime spend $600. So out of the 197, let's just say that a third are Prime. So you simply multiply, what's a third of 197? Let's say 200. So about 70 are Prime. So you just simply take 70, you multiply that by 1,400. So 70 million by 1,400, you get that number. And then the rest, which is another 130 million, multiply that by $600 per year. And then you get that number, you combine those two, and that's the potential of how much money that there is available. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get all those hundreds of millions of dollars, but that's how much total money there is out there for you to have. And then also, I wanted to say, okay, how many total Prime members are there? And actually, there is 200 million. So I know it says that on average, 197 million people go to Amazon shop, but 200 million people are actually Prime members as of October 2021. So if we go back to the slide before, which says $1,400 on average a Prime member spends. So if you take $1,400 and you multiply that by 200 million members, you're gonna get the total amount. And then what it says is that during Prime Day, Amazon reached $11.79 billion in a single day. $11.7 billion, right? And so when I was thinking about all these numbers, I was like, all right, well, to me personally, it looks like Amazon FBA is still alive because I am making more money I am today than I was last year, year before that on Amazon, right? Our students are making more money today than they did last year, the year before, and so on. And I understand that any business you start, there is risk. And that's the thing that I'm here to tell you is that just because there's people making money doesn't mean you're going to make money. That's just because, and I know the cliche of, well, if someone else can do it, I can do it as well. And that's true, but it's not true at the same time, because when I started my restaurant business, There were people out there making money with restaurants. And until today, I know there are people making millions of dollars every single year. How come I didn't? Just very simple, because I didn't know what I was doing. So regardless if you're trying to start an Amazon business or whatever other business you want to start, you do want to understand how the business works. You do want to understand that any business you start first requires money. In this case, we always suggest people starting Amazon to have at least $5,000 to $10,000. And secondly, you need resilience, and you need hard work, and you need to show up. You can't just expect, well, it's an online business, I can run it from anywhere in the world. I'm just gonna, slap a few things online and that's it, it'll work, and I'm gonna make millions of dollars. That's not how it works, right? You gotta show up every day. You gotta put in hours. You gotta put in at least 15 hours every single week. Understand that there's probably gonna be ups and downs. There's probably gonna be, valleys and mountains and things like that, and rivers that you have to, hop in order for you to actually make it work. And understand it's not gonna be sunshines and rainbows. But if you're willing to do all that, if you're willing to invest the money, invest the time, and do all that, then you can reap the reward. And that's what I was willing to do. That's what our students are willing to do. And if you're like, well, this sounds great, I don't know where to start, I'm ready, I want to do this, I'm ready to start, but I don't know what I'm doing, I want to extend an invitation to see if BJK University can help you. If you click the link below this video, it'll take you to a short presentation that'll walk you through how BJKU can help you. And then if, and only if, we have spots still left, you can get on a call with our enrollment advisors to see how we can support you. Outside of that, hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.